Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. This time around, we're going to be back to working with server banners. If you haven't seen my other video on this, I did make one. It's a much simpler design compared to what we'll be doing today, but it doesn't really matter how simple or complicated it is. It matters as to what works best for you and your community. Because while something complicated might work well for someone, it might not work so well for you. You might prefer something more simple. So this is just another option for you to try out and see if you like it. Of course, I'll include a template at the end so you can edit the file that I was directly editing while the video was being recorded. So today, as you can see, it's not going to be this exact style. It's going to be something similar. And this is how this style looks, just for an idea of how the other ones will look in the future. And if you aren't familiar with how you get server banner, you need at least 10 boosts in your server, and which is about tier 2, and you unlock server banners for your community. So it's going to be the tutorial today is going to be combining aspects of this banner and aspects of this banner. This banner is a much older style. We had it when Discord still had the fade at the bottom, so it would fade up to about right here. So you wouldn't, well, probably a bit lower than that, about there. So you wouldn't see most of this. It would just be faded out in a gradient, and most of it would be up here. So it didn't look too bad. But ever since Discord made a solid shape with no fade, we had to switch up the design. So I moved on to this. But anyway, I'm gonna jump right into the tutorial. You're gonna see aspects of both of these, but you're not gonna get the same exact banner. It's just gonna be a blend of the two. To start out, you're going to want to make a new file, size at 960 by 540. And I'm going to quickly close out of these because they are not needed. And as you can probably guess, these are files we'll be dropping in and using as we progress in this tutorial. So the first thing I like to do is I'm going to make the wave that you previously saw, just so we have a nice boundary set up with which you can work with right from the get-go. Let me get this. And that's probably a good thickness. I might go a bit thinner just because, and maybe even a bit thinner. I still feel like it's too thick. I mean, it's not too bad if it's too thin, because we can always add a stroke to it and make it thicker. So from here, we want to do filter, distorts, wave. Oops, gotta rasterize it first. So you rasterize it, otherwise you're gonna have that pop up. Filter, distort, wave, and you're gonna want to do about these settings right here that I have pulled up right now. Works fine. I always bring generators down to 1, because otherwise you get this funkiness, and that is not what you want. Look at that. Like dance, it's like a worm. Okay. So I do about these settings. You can always play around them to get wavelength, amplitude, to different adjustments. I wouldn't touch generators, just leave that alone, leave it at 1. And you probably want to work within the realm of these 82 to 302 for the min-max, and then min-max for amplitude being 5 and 44. And that gets me a nice decent wave going. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to get my main background color just set up. And this is the hex code 69B8EF. And I'm going to create a new layer on top, bring it down, and just go like that. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck? What was the point of this line? Well, we're going to delete everything below that line because we do not want it at all. And yeah, I put the line too high up, so let me undo that a sec and move the line down because I don't want that much space. That's better. Alright, so let me just start deleting the blue. Probably better ways to do it, but I am perfectly content with doing this. If I can find my tool. Where's my tool at? I always forget where things are. That is not what I wanted at all. There we go. And go all the way around. Erase, erase, erase. Make sure you get up any residual pieces. Pen tool would probably... Let's just switch to pen tool. I would speed this up if I could, but if you've been watching my videos, you know there's no editor for me to speed up with, and I am on shape, not path. Gosh darn it. There we go. Yeah, I think I screwed it up. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I think we can get this to work. Yep. Let me delete that shape that I was making. What is this funky shape? Yeah, get out of here. Nobody likes you. Okay, now we have our base down here. And real quick, I'm gonna do the stuff down here that I've been wanting to. That doesn't make any sense. But this is for later. I'm gonna bring in this right here because I'm gonna keep a spring theme kind of going. So I'll bring that in, resize it just a bit, and bring it down. And we're gonna want to do a filter and blur gallery, field blur, and a bit too much. Okay, I like that. I am happy with that, and put it underneath so it doesn't show up above that. And you can adjust it however you want. This is probably too pink, but it works. And I just realized that line is still too high up. Let me adjust that a bit more. Sorry about that. And you can just shift F5, color fill, like that. And next thing I'm going to do is, let me close out of that. I'm going to bring in another thing that I need. Let me get the file. One second. It's going to be this glass. I'm going to put glass. What is this called? This is called a glass smear or glass smudge. No, that's not right either. Glass something. The name is not coming to me. I'm just going to duplicate it to make the effect a bit more visible. I'm going to drop the opacity. So it's too powerful with both of them there. I'm just going to name this Control G and bottom suction and make it red. And then for this one, let's name this the border. Blending options. Drop shadow. That's too much. Just so it's not completely boring down there. Distance, maybe 5, and I am content with that. Let me try something. Nope, let me not try something. Okay, that is there, and we can start working on this whole section up here. So I think the way I want to do it is I might not have a character in this image. I'm just making this up on the fly, if you're wondering. Okay, I think the first thing I'll do is I'll bring the clouds in, because I know I definitely want the clouds. So let me drop that in there. And I really like this color for the clouds. Oops. I might just make it a tad bit brighter. We can always adjust it. And let me transfer my cloud down to a more manageable size. And we will start clouding along the way. I promise I can speak English. Okay. that there. And let's just overlay it with white so we get a better feel for how it's going to look. Because we're going to be merging all these cloud shapes in a bit. If your clouds are green, then you might want to evacuate the area. It does not sound like a healthy place to live. And make sure you rotate these clouds, because otherwise you get the same thing all the way across, and that is just really boring, and nobody's going to enjoy that. So I might go a bit like that. I really do not like this gigantic blob there, but whatever. See, now it doesn't look so redundant. I mean, a little bit, but not terrible. I might actually adjust this one because that big piece sticking down is not something I enjoy looking at. Maybe move it over a bit. Yeah, just like that. Okay, that should work. Merge layers and name this to clouds. Or rename it to clouds, not name it to clouds. Okay, then we're going to do a blending stroke. And we're going to do it to this color. And actually, we're not going to do it to that color because I can't see that color at all. Let's do something. Yeah, why not just do that? Okay, now we have our cloud cover across the top. I might actually bump it up a little bit just so it's not too overbearing. Next thing I want to do is, I hope this is going to work out because I didn't try it beforehand, because I am mixing two completely different styles, as I'm sure you saw me mention. So let's just try it out and see what happens. You never know. It might come out looking... What if I flip it? I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we can play around with it. Now I just searched anime scenery spring, and then anime scenery, anime wallpaper clouds to get these images. Okay, so you're going to want to add a layer mask to that. I just click down here. Make sure you have black selected, because for a layer mask, whatever is white is visible, whatever is black isn't visible. And the tool you want to grab is the gradient tool. And make sure you hold shift when you move it, otherwise you're going to be getting all of these angles. But I think it goes by 45-degree angles when you hold shift. And you just want to go straight up to about that, and see, now you have a gradient fade, which I personally absolutely love this kind of stuff. I think it looks absolutely amazing if you do it right. Switch back, and it should be below the clouds actually. I kind of like that. I'm not sure about you, but I dig it. Okay, now that's there. Let's add in our branches. Now, this is another tool that I mentioned in the past in one of my miscellaneous tutorials. What was it called? Tips and tricks. There we go. So I'm going to be changing the color of the pink because this pink looks absolutely horrible to me. And I wanted to match it up with this a bit more, grab a lighter pink. And the tool we're going to be using is called, let me bring this down a bit. It is called the color replace tool. Add image, adjustments, replace color. And we're going to do this. This is the color you're going to be replacing, and the result is the color that you want it to come out to be. And just like that, the pink is lighter. Okay. That is a horrible looking pink. 1 second. Let's try that pink. There we go. I think I got it this time. Wait up. Why are all these pinks down there looking so terrible? Who made this? Who found this image? Oh wait, it was me. And then let's make it a like that. That looks good. If you stuck around for this long, congratulations. I don't think I could have stuck around this long for this nonsense. Okay, now we're going to do Control T, and we wanted to get a cross to give it a nice springish vibe. Let's see how we're going to do this. Kind of want it to be like that. Let's see. Sort of like this, maybe? It's still too big. I think it's still too big. Like that. Maybe even smaller. Let's try this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a drop shadow to just make it pop a bit more. Actually, what I want to try is... What if we brought the clouds down here? Because we already have cloud cover up there. So what if we just did the clouds down here? Control G, we'll name this the main section. What was that? Oh, that was the border down there. Clipping mask. And, ooh, I am liking that. Yeah, okay. So, let's get back to that. This is the branch. Now, this tutorial is, we're already at 17 minutes. I mean, we've made some decent progress, but we still have quite a ways more to go. So I hope you decide to stick around for that. I did promise you guys I'd make longer tutorials or more complicated tutorials, but just remember it is going to take more time to record because I can't speed up any parts of this because I am editor numero solo. Just me in this place. And actually, I'm not editing anything, I'm just recording and uploading. And if somebody interrupts me while I'm recording, you know what that means? Gotta restart the whole thing. Alright, let's look at some patterns. I really like dots. So let's... Oops. Wait, is this white? No, please. These dots have a white background. Who did that? What kind of... Why would I want a pattern that has a background to it? Who in their right minds would make that kind of pattern? That pattern is absolutely useless. I'm going to add some dots just to give it some more feeling. Because see, with dots... Hold up. Yeah, it looks boring without dots, and you add some dots and got some life to the image. Alright, next up, we're going to add a nice little border all the way around this image. We're going to do it right here. We're going to grab this rectangle tool. Pretty sure it's supposed to be in black. I haven't made this in a while, keep in mind. I'm going to go all the way around this image. For some reason, it decided I did not want to go around the image. Please go. And while I am extending it down here, it is clipped on, so it's not going to show up. So don't worry about that. And then make it about that, I suppose. And then we're going to want to apply a soft light at 60% to it. 60, I just type it in. And then a stroke. that is 2 pixels and completely black, just so it isn't invisible. And it's a bit too, wait a second, how big is that? That is okay. Do I want to put it above that? Yeah, I want to put it above that because I want this to be the background. This to be right above the background, and everything else is going to layer on top of it. Okay, I think that is an okay size. Let me try a little bit smaller. Let's try maybe 12. But then, wait a second, what did I do? I don't know what I clicked. I clicked something funky and then everything disappeared. 13. Okay, I guess we'll leave it at 13. And now we have a border, we have a background, we have this and that. And we shall have to go from here. Okay, the next step is going to be adding the text. So I'm going to do it right in the center because I'm going to assume you don't have a mascot, you don't have a character that you want up right at the front. So I am not going to bother with that. I'm just going to go right into, I mean, you can always adjust move to the side. For in the example I showed you, let me pop it up again. In the one that I showed you guys, let's see, where did I put it? It was off to the side, so you wouldn't be able to see it as well. But it's because we have a character over here that we wanted front and center for the image. In this case, I'm going to move it to the center and no character, but we can always move it back to the side depending on your needs. Get rid of that. And we're back over here, messing around with this. Okay, so I don't need that main section anymore. I'm going to be creating a new layer and name this, oops, what did I do? Name this a text. And I'm going to start making the shape, and we are at 22 minutes so far. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here. I really appreciate it. So we're going to make it about, I suppose, that. We don't need a stroke. Because, yeah, it's going to be nice and big and going to get everything across that we need to. Is it just me, or this not centered? Hold up. Okay, I am very confused. 1 second. Where is the center for this image? Okay, it's centered. I guess it's just looking weird to me. Okay, so we have this image here, and we're going to make adjustments to the edges to make them look more like a banner within a bannerception. Let's go with that. Rasterize the image, grab your pen tool, hit a corner right there. I want to go to about here. Oh, that is not where I wanted to go. That should work. If not, we can always adjust. And yeah, I do not like that one bit. Let's try again. Grab the pen tool and go from the corner. Go a bit farther in. Okay, I like that, except I'm making it all crooked. So let me get a shape I can use to get my perfect angle. There we go. That should work as planned. Nice, we have that side done. And then we just bring this thing over to the other side and do the same exact thing over there. We don't need that anymore. And we have the beginnings of our banner. Next thing you want to do is blending options, pattern overlay. Just so we get, where is that? And we're not going to be doing more dots, we're going to be doing a different shape. That's I don't understand why this is so small. I couldn't figure out how to make it bigger. Maybe it's just me or something I'm not doing right, but it's really annoying. When I do it on my Mac, it's a nice big size like that. But for here, I don't know. It's really bothering me though. Because then I'm looking at this tiny image trying to figure out what's what. You know what I mean? That is not pleasant. And then let's do a drop shadow. Like that. This is centered, right? It is definitely centered. And I have it right about there. Next thing I want to do is I want to bring in the... Do not need that anymore. What was that? Okay, we're done with the clouds. We are done with that. And this is the next thing that we need. We need rope. I like to do things, make it look realistic. You wouldn't just have a banner just hanging there. You would have it attached with a rope. And since we have branches conveniently placed above it, we can go widdly diddly, wiggly wiggly, and drop that right up top. Now, just to save time, I'm not going to bother making it like the other one where I had the circles cut out because that would take more time. But this will achieve the same effect as if you did have that. So I'm going to have one there with minus, drag that over, just like that. And then we're going to make quick adjustments up here just to make it look like it's actually hanging onto the branch. Now it looks like it's on the branch. This one's already there, but just in case. And we're going to name this, what is that? Okay, that's rope. Rope. What was that? No, there's nothing there. So we're going to have this be our banner. Don't need that, and we'll make this green. Next thing that we're going to do is make some text. So let's name this, let's just go with what we've been doing. Name this 2K. Drag it right there. Obviously, we're not going to be using this color. I'm just getting the size figured out first before I do anything else. And once again, this is a Tokyo font, which you've seen me use countless times because I absolutely love this font. So what we're going to do is make this a nice light color. I'm using blue, of course, and make it a nice light like that. Oops, in case you didn't get the hex, that's right there. So you won't have to pause for 5 minutes or try to go back and find it. That's the hex there. Now we're going to do blending options, stroke. I do not like that. I do like that. This is the color right there if you want it. And I'm pretty happy with 2 pixels. That works for me. And then pattern overlay, and we're going to do our lines, which I always do. I really like my patterns. And now that's there, and you're thinking, hey, this still looks really basic. Well, hold on a second. We've still got all this decorating out here to do. This is just the text part. Now remember, you can move this to the side, make this bigger, smaller to fit your needs. You know how to make this banner now. And you can always cut in the circles and make it more realistic, but I'm not going to bother doing that for this tutorial because we don't have time. And let's grab the other stuff that we need. So let me go find it in my folders. I hope I saved it. I should have it saved. I don't delete much stuff. Yep, I have that. I have one branch. What other branch should I need? So I have one, and then flower petals. And I think that's all we need. Yeah. So we have the branch. I'm going to put that right down here because right now, down here, it looks very boring. And I don't like boring. I like to spice things up and make it look fun and exciting. So flowers. Of course, we're going to be doing a... Why isn't the... Oh, because I haven't done anything with the back yet. It's the border. It's going to be... Wait. No, that's the border. Whoops. This is the edge. I was getting ahead of myself a bit. There we go. Flowers, control transform, heights, flip that. And I'm going to downsize this, of course. Move that to the corner. And actually, I want to make this a bit more pink. So image, adjustments, color balance. And we're going to up the pinkness of these to make it a bit more vibrant because they were looking pretty dull before. Get some drop shadow in there. Help it stand out a bit more. I am perfectly content with that. And I like to kind of match the flow of the wave. Now, I prefer the wave that I had for the other one. It sloped down. This wave is a bit funky. But you guys have been sitting here for too long already for me to be bothered going back and remaking the wave. So one there. Control J, create clipping mask, hide all of these things. And then width minus, and drag that right over here. So now it looks a little less boring, but we have a bit more stuff to add. I don't need the rope. I actually do need the rope. I'm going to do that first just because I want to get out of the way before I completely forget about it. I've done that in the past. I've forgotten something in a tutorial, and I only remember after I finish. And of course, I can't edit in a snippet of myself saying, oh, here's a correction. So I'm having to type it up in the comments, and then I'm sure you guys absolutely love that. Now, I think I've mentioned it before, I can't give you the file for this lantern because it was made specifically for 2K, and I don't want to give out files like that. So when I do upload this file, I'm going to have a different lantern there. I'm sorry, it is going to be one of those crappy... I didn't say a bad word. One of those terrible online emoji versions of the Izakaya lanterns. But, you know, it gets the job done for the example. You can always find something else to replace it. This is just what I liked to use. So we'll name this rope lantern. We'll name this lantern. And control transform it and scale it down. I'm pretty happy with that. And if we can fit it right there, I think it looks great. Of course, we're going to want to edit that rope just so it fits, just so it looks like it's actually hanging from that branch. And look at that. Now it looks like it does. I'll actually group that and name this lantern, blending options, and give it a drop shadow. I might actually make it smaller. Let me see. That felt a little too big when I zoomed out. I don't like that. That should work. And I like to have this come into the inside, so it looks like the shadow is coming from the outside. Probably not the most accurate way, but it looks aesthetically pleasing, at least to me. So it's about there. That matches up there, and we are almost done, I promise. How many minutes has it been? 36 minutes. Gosh darn. You've been sitting around this long. Congratulations to you. Jesus. I did not think I'd spent that much time. Okay. So for the flowers, basically what you want to do is you want to cut them out and then like that, and just kind of move them around to make it look more realistic. I'm just going to quickly grab the flowers from the other file so you don't have to sit here and watch that because we've already been sitting here for a very long time. So let me just grab these flowers. As you can see, it's the same exact flowers. I just grab them and move them around. You want to arrange them in a way that looks semi-realistic. Now I'll include these flowers, of course. That's not the right flower. Oh, petals. There we go. Move the petals over. I am so sorry I took so long. I did not expect to be this slow. There we go. I'm gonna actually adjust this real quick. Just give me 1 second to make some adjustments. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Because it does not look. Because before it was a character here, so I have to make some adjustments to make it fit in better. Boom. Boom. Spread this out a bit more. Okay, just select that. That looks fine. Next thing you want to do is you want to add these dotted lines that you see me add everywhere. Make it white. New layer. Circle. And let's make that white. And we want about probably 3 pixels. Make sure it's set to dotted line. And then go, go, go. Hold shift when you do it, otherwise it's going to be really funky. Make that a bit smaller because that looks a bit too big to me. And actually, I'm going to switch to 2 pixels because 3 pixels looks too big. And I like to match it up right with the center of that. So that's there. Control J, create clipping mask. Move to the other side. Same exact thing. There we go. And then I would add in some extra shapes just where you can. Maybe, what can you do? I mean, I guess you go a little extra stuff in here. Add in, let me just do a quick sample. You could add in a shape like that. Fix that. And then just rotate it maybe. And what is this? I hate this. I'm still not, I'm so used to CS6 that I'm still adjusting a bit to this one. Yeah, it looks terrible with this style, but you get the idea. You can add different shapes in here and get different styles going. However suits you best. And now this thing is distorted because I did an adjustment. But yeah, that's generally it's gonna how it looks. I would put it in the server, but We don't really have time for that. You've already been sitting here forever. So I'm gonna upload this file exactly how it is. I'm gonna link the fonts. I'm gonna link the file with all these different things in it. So you can go ahead and download it and try it out yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and if you stuck around all the way to 40 minutes, then huge thank you to you. I can't even believe anybody would want to stick around that long for this one tutorial, but have an amazing day and see ya.